So today, we're going to start off by talking about why we should have kept selling courses. If you look at Eric and I, we've tried a lot of different products. You've tried courses a few times. We've tried masterminds together.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in masterminds together as
Uh-huh.
well. Um,
Honestly, the masterminds, if they kept going, it probably would have been fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I really regret the model of stop selling courses, because I don't think courses are a good business. It's a really low TAM business, in my opinion. I think you're better off being the software that helps course creators versus being the one who's selling
Or
a course.
community, like school,
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
work a job or whatever it may be, right? But I think it's an amazing tripwire. And in our core business, if we sold courses, if you sold a course on YouTube marketing or B2B marketing, you wouldn't make a killing from it. Maybe you make extra 20, 30, 50 grand a month.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those customers paying $50, $100 for the course would eventually become a customer?
A small percentage, but
but that
still it's a
small percentage
percentage.
adds up.
Yeah.
And
You should explain Tripwire to everyone too.
yeah, so Ryan Dice back in the day used to talk about a concept like a tripwire. If you get someone to buy something for, you know, uh, 50, $10, $7, that's a very irresistible offer. It's much easier to then get them to go buy something more expensive.
Because at that point, you've acquired a customer because they put in a little money. And you have the
Yes.
credit card information too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe that we should have just ran with that model and continually had a tripwire. A course is an easy thing, and upsold people into services.
What's to say you can't come back to it?
I just don't want to put in the effort to create courses.
Neil one time I had to go to Burbank to help him record a course for some other thing. It took the entire day.
half a day.
Oh yeah. We had to get dressed up for that too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't a lot of effort, and there was a good return on time. I would like it is a lot of work too. I just
It's a lot of work.
but what's to say you can't repackage a lot of the stuff that you've already done with webinars and things like that and sell it as just like bundle it together and just package it better.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't talked to my co-founder about this, but if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have taken two different approaches. One approach would have been do something that's really cheap so then that way you can get more customers. We kind of do that with, we have an annual event that we do. It's usually called like the future of digital marketing or future of digital marketing and AI. And that does well for us. And then it gets more people to know our brand. But I would have done something more evergreen, like a course for the consumer side. And then I would have done a second group, let's say a mastermind just for agencies looking to grow. And then it would have given me a bigger pipe to acquire more agencies.
I think what I would do instead, nowadays, we were actually talking. So I was telling you pre-recording. I was at a entrepreneur poker game yesterday, and there's a handful of people that have very big YouTube channels, some bestsellers. Some people have like cool companies that they've sold in the past and all that. But we were just talking about some of the biggest people in the info game, right? I'm not going to name any names, but we're just saying that some of them are like the best workshop company in the world or like the best course company in the world, right?
Yeah.
I think the problem is you start to get lumped into that and they see you as just a course person, right?
Yes.
But I think when you look at OpenAI or all these other companies where they're giving their AI courses away for free, or Anthropic, what's to say we can't give these things away for free, and then have an ascension model in there because you just want them on your email list anyway, right? And so I think there's on one end it's like, okay, Tripwire, they've put in some money, they've committed some money, right?
Yeah, it's easier to
Yeah.
upsell people once they
Yeah,
spend some
but
money.
the problem is the moment that happens again, for whatever reason, right? Because there's more grifting in courses than there isn't, you're kind of
Yes.
seen as that, right? And so you have to have thick skin there to probably just not care as much about what people think about you. And Elon actually mentioned this. He actually thinks that caring what people think about you is actually a weakness, right? And he's like, I got rid of that early in my career. And so take that for what it is. I
Yeah.
think if you're gonna do courses, just that probably will help you a little bit.
Yeah, but you could also do it in a different way that doesn't make you seem as much as a grifter. And even if you're not promising the world, I'm not saying anyone is going to, but even if you're not promising the world, some people, as Eric mentioned, will just assume you're a grifter or you're a course creator, so it gives you a bad rep. You could give away your course for free. They pay for shipping, and then you mail it to them. And then you can also give them a digital version, but they pay for the like the actual physical papers. And you may not make any profit from it, but that's okay. The whole purpose here is just to get them to spend money on something so that way you can upsell 'em.
On one end, though, maybe it's so I'll take the other side now. Maybe it is good to be a course creator. You know why? Because when you get the hate around it, more people talk about you anyway, right?
That's true.
So it is what it is. Because the people that really like you, if they know you do a good job, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
The next topic I wanted to go to, you have it in the sheet. New YouTube channel gains 200,000 subscribers and 2 million views from a single video.
yeah.
Because you and I have seen so many videos go viral, but it's very rare that you actually get a subscriber from a video that goes viral.
Yeah. Okay, this is great. Well, we can stick on YouTube for a little because I have some more stuff on YouTube. So this is the Cultural Tutor. So this guy on Twitter, just so you see what he looks like, it's literally like one of these like stoic
Okay?
like
Like the Greek
Greek
gods.
gods, yeah, type of thing. So his name's the Cultural Tutor. So he said this: 2 weeks ago, I released a short film on a new channel. 2 weeks later, it has hit 2 million views, 190,000 likes, 13,000 comments, and the channel has already nearly 200,000 subs. Why? Two reasons, both simple. Number one, the internet is sloppier than ever, and everybody knows it, right? We're talking about AI slop and things like that. We've seen, AI content creation is now 53% versus others. You tweet that as well. Number two, the message of the film. People around the world are tired of modern architecture and modern design, right? So he has basically his packaging here. This is good packaging. Look, it says the packaging that for the title is "How did the world get so ugly?" Right, and then basically it just talks about the modern world, and you can see here the number of comments and the number of subscribers. Right now
Yeah.
it's like 200,000. And so those of you that can't see this, it's an interesting idea that covers a very wide TAM. And I would say, yeah, like when you walk around now, like when you walk around LA, the architecture is not that great. But when you walk around in like Paris or London or whatever, you look at the architecture,
Beautiful.
it's beautiful, right? It's like, what happened here? It's like we're supposed to be the richest country in the world, and it's garbage, right?
Dude, yesterday I was in downtown Los Angeles.
Uh-huh. Oh, great.
I was having coffee with one of my friends who was in town for an event,
Uh-huh.
and we're looking literally in downtown LA at 3 skyscrapers.
Hmm.
Imagine each skyscraper is at least 100 million bucks. Like, I don't know how tall it was,
Probably
but
cheaper now.
to build, I'm saying to build,
Yeah.
right? When you're talking about the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
land and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything, 3 skyscrapers all next to each
Yeah.
other, and they're tall. I'm not talking about like 10 stories or 20
Like the
stories, they're
graffiti
tall.
tower there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
graffiti tower, that's
Yeah.
right, and
Yeah,
they all
yeah.
had graffiti on it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "What the heck is this?" There goes
Yeah.
300 million bucks.
Yeah.
How the heck do you have buildings that are like half completed,
Hmm.
have graffiti all over them,
Yep.
and the United States, especially in a city like Los Angeles that's
Mhm.
so rich?
Yep. Look, I think going back to this video, it goes back to so people are interested in craftsmanship, right? And so there's slop now that's being published all the time. It's like, okay, you have the coolest, VO 3.1 or whatever, the best image generators, the best video generators, and people are going to get lazier and lazier with content. And so this guy was very intentional about the content he did here. And he didn't just focus on politics or rage bait or clickbait, but it was because that stuff is people are getting tired of it. Like I think people are getting more sensitized or desensitized to all this rage bait that they see in the TikToks, right? So his whole thing is just talking about how modern life is somehow chaotic and boring at the same time. And he wants to go with a different angle, but he's like, it doesn't have to be this way. So he had a different angle. So my point of saying this is that if you want 200,000 subs from one video, you spend a lot more time on the craftsmanship, you tell a different story, and you have really good packaging, and that's how you're going to win. Interestingly enough, Neil, I talked to someone from that's Gujaratri, like you. I don't know how to pronounce it, but 23-year-old. He might help me with YouTube strategy.
Okay.
And he's like, me and Neil, we're the same. 23 years old, right? We're the same. We're really good at money. We look at the finances, and we're very detailed with them. I was like, yes, that you are. And so he's like, he might help us with the marketing school channel.
No,
And
cool.
it's a good deal. I'm like, hey, tell me. His name's Param. I'm like, hey, Param, why does our marketing school channel suck so much? And he's like, well, to be honest with you, you guys have really good content. I'm like, well, thank you. I know we do. But he's like, you and Neil don't have time to focus on the packaging. I'm like, bingo. I'm like,
Yes, I agree with
I
that.
don't want to think about the ideas. I don't want to think about the packaging. She's like, I got you on the packaging. I got you on the thumbnails. And he's like, because he helped the channel in India grow from like 0 to 7 million subs or something. I was like,
Wow.
hey,
Must be consumer base.
yeah, you're right. So we'll see how it goes. But my whole thing is, I was talking at this poker game yesterday. YouTube's just changing so much. So did you see the YouTube CEO just announced that he announced that 30% of viewers watch live on YouTube, and they're gonna bet harder on live streaming. And the other thing is thumbnails now, when you upload them, they're way higher quality. But they're gonna try, like, you basically go live every week with the webinars. I'm like, live
Every other
stream
week, but yeah.
every other week, yeah. But I'm like, we should be doing more of it, whether it's a webinar or whether it's like, us having like friends come on and just shooting the shit. Honestly, that would be fun. And I do that. Like last Friday, I was shooting the shit with a few, like there's 8 of us, right? And I'm just like, dude, the conversations we have are so fun and interesting. Some stuff's confidential, obviously, but people are getting tired of the same stuff over and over. And when people are zigging, you gotta zag. That's how
Yeah.
I see it.
You should just do it with your YPO group.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something at lunch after. I can't tell you right now. But one more thing on the YouTube thing too. So yesterday, I was talking to one popular author and YouTuber at the poker game. Okay, and he ended up using the same YouTube firm you were using. That was costing you like 20 to 25 a month, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then he's like, interestingly enough, like all these other creators, they get off of that creator group, but they end up going back to them, right? And he's like, dude, they're just too expensive for what they were. And him even having so many subs and so many views, he's like, we constantly need to shuffle through YouTube, like YouTube strategists, because like I'm like, so him being so smart, best-selling author and everything, I'm like, do you come up with your own ideas? He's like, F no, right? I don't come up with my own ideas. Like I just have the team do it. So if they suck at it, I just fire them, right? And interesting enough, one more thing. This is kind of back behind the scenes
And he
talking
has
about YouTube.
7 million subs.
This is like another guy with like 4 or 5 million or so.
Still a lot.
Yeah. And he said one of these popular creators that we know, that everybody knows listening to this, he has insane turnover. Actually, every big creator has insane turnover with their YouTube team.
Yeah, I believe Mr. Beast has high turnover.
Mr. Beast and some other people too that we can talk about at lunch. But point is, people don't want to pay a lot for this, right? People also don't want to think about strategy, but people also want a good price. So the short form team that I'm using right now, that I'm still testing, I see the videos starting to compound, and I'll intro you at some point, but it's a really good price, right? And I'm like, this is just what does an entrepreneur want at the end of the day? They want you to just take things off their plate, or just anyway, take it off their plate,
Yes.
handle the strategy, and come with a good price.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all want a good price, especially from stuff that's hard to make a direct ROI on, for like branding purposes. It's like you know it's worth it. You know you should spend some money,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have to start spending 10, 20, 30, 40 grand just on YouTube videos, it's like, yeah, do I really want to?
Yep.
Especially for people like you and I that can do it cheap if we just put the time in ourselves.
Dude, we're still cheap on everything. As much, scale as you've built over time, we still try to go cheap as possible in the
Yes.
very beginning, right? It's just in our blood. Okay, let me read this part on the YouTube CEO thing just to go a little more deeper, and then you can pick the next topic. So Matt Diggity tweeted this. So YouTube CEO Neil Mohan, right?
I don't know. Okay,
He's your
continue.
kind, Mohan. Okay, Neil Mohan just dropped major platform updates that completely change how smart marketers should approach video SEO in 2025. So the biggest game changer with YouTube, let's call it in 2026, is multi-format streaming and AI-powered highlight clipping. So YouTube will now let creators broadcast in both horizontal and vertical formats simultaneously. This means that your single live stream can reach desktop viewers and mobile scrollers at the same time. Good for the webinars, right?
Yeah.
You're now competing for visibility across 2 different search behaviors with one piece of content. According to YouTube's own stats, 30% of daily viewers now watch daily live content. That's a massive
Wow.
audience most businesses are ignoring. So I think we need to triple down on live, if I'm being honest, maybe weekly. We used to do live streaming for this too.
Oh yeah, we
yeah.
did.
I was like, no, maybe we can bring it back, but your Wi-Fi might be poo-poo here, right? So after 16 years of running SEO strategies, I can tell you that platforms which let you repurpose content efficiently always win. YouTube's new AI clipping tool automatically turns live streams into ready-made shorts. That's one live session becoming dozens of searchable content pieces. Start testing live content now. So what's the takeaway for you and me? Maybe we go live here. I don't know. Well, if your Wi-Fi poo-poo, maybe you're coming to my place now because I have Wi-Fi across my whole building.
Really?
It's my Wi-Fi across my whole building. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. But that means Neil has to drive his van over. But I'm just like, why are we not doing this more? Because it's like, what I've heard too. I've talked to my YouTube team about this, or my brand team. You and I, anybody, we're way different on live. Like, we're like this, okay?
Yeah.
When I'm doing like a video, I'm stiff. I'm like reading off a teleprompter. I don't want to be there, okay? I like you talk. I don't want to record these YouTube videos. But if I'm
Not
here,
as fun.
at least I get to eat lunch afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And we get to talk about interesting things. And this is my real personality.
Noah always has great stories for us.
Yeah. Yeah, Noah has great stories, and, like, Maya from my team said she's like, "You're way different when you're doing a webinar because it's way more fun, and I'm way more relaxed," right?
'Cause it's
And
not scripted.
it's not, and then when we're talking at the conference, sure, it's a little more, like, at least for me, you're still there's a little nerves because 'cause you're still talking in front of a lot of people. I always believe there's gonna be a little nerves, but it's still a lot more me than, like, YouTube, just recording a YouTube long form.
Yeah. Next one I wanna talk about is, Lily Ray has something in here, "The Lie of AI SEO,"
Yes.
parentheses, GEO.
Okay. So this has been happening quite a bit. So let me set the tone for this. So you saw yesterday Amplitude came out with a free GEO
Uh-huh.
tracking thing, right? And then someone tweeted like there's very little amplitude and like pointed that out to their stock price. It's like gone straight down and flat. It's like there's no amplitude, right? And then someone retweeted that and said lack of focus kills, right? Because they're an analytics company. I kind of disagree with that, but there's a lot of like SEOs talking about, it seems like this GEO tracking space is just there's unlimited TAM for it, right? There's all these VCs are putting money into it. It's like I guess this is the new panacea, right? GEO tracking, which is that part I agree with. I think it's kind of funny. So Lily Ray tweeted this. I'm gonna read it. Basically, Lily Ray's a popular SEO. I'll call her a SEO practitioner, influencer, and she said, "I've recently seen so many questionable and misleading GEO case studies, posts, and ads. As usual, this post is meant to share some truths that can hopefully help people from falling for these scams." Okay, so I'm pulling up on LinkedIn right now, but here's what it says. So, as an SEO team with mid-sized to enterprise clients, it would be easy to position ourselves as AEO, GEO experts by taking credit for the visibility that many clients have enjoyed in LLM responses since the day LLMs became available to the public. There's a reason we don't. The truth is, many brands automatically earned brand mentions and citations to LLMs by, wait for it, being among the best and most frequently cited brands in the space. That quote unquote knowledge was already reflected in their training data. So, without reading the whole thing here, so she says, look, you know, to be clear, I absolutely do believe that you can do the work to drive additional visibility and citations in AI search. That's why we do offer their AEO service at their agency, and she stands behind the work. But I think it's important for those in our industry and the new GEO folks who just got here to be transparent about and honest that many brands mentioned in AI search appear as such simply because it's a reflection of the often 1+ year old training data used to train the LLMs that generate their names, not because of GEO magic. So basically, I think she's just saying that a lot of these people that say they can do it are claiming credit for things that they didn't do.
Yeah, because if you look at a lot of products and services, they're already mentioned in GEO or ChatGPT or Perplexity or whatever.
Yep.
And I have seen marketers take credit for it. The proper way to do it is you track a lot of different types of prompts or variations. You end up seeing how often the company's mentioned, and then you look at the sentiment and you want to see it grow from there. So if you can influence it and grow it, it's great. It's just like SEO traffic. What's your baseline? How much can you grow over time?
Yep. Look, I think like anything in marketing in the early days, if you're just a little bit ahead of the curve, like you're gonna try to claim that you can do it because everybody wants to make money, right? And so
Yeah.
whether it's GEO, AEO, whatever we want to call it, search everywhere optimization, I see the sentiment of where she's coming from. You got to be honest, right? I think ultimately you got to be honest, practitioner. But I do think a lot of this stuff, like when you see this much money going, like tens of millions of dollars going into these AI AEO trackers, GEO trackers, something's off. And this is no different. We've talked about this, guys. This is no different than the yellow pages earlier in the day. You can say you're a yellow pages expert, and then you became like a GeoCities expert or something like that, and then you became like a Google expert, and now you're an AEO expert.
You know how Amplitude's doing it, right?
How?
They already scraped a lot of the web. So when you put in a query, they're not analyzing in real time. They'll send you a link. And the analyzing progress bar will take a long time, but if you put in your email, you'll literally get a report pretty quickly.
Yeah. So
And then for the sites that they have no data on, we've seen that we're not getting emails.
the reason I like Amplitude's move, whether it's a good product or not, they're an analytics product, right? And they're supposed to be working with more enterprises, right? Mid market to enterprise.
Yeah.
Now for them, it makes sense for them to. This is why we talk about giving things away for free. This makes sense for them to splinter off, give it away for free. They know there's a lot of people in the space already, but they can collect all the information and then just look for anybody that puts in their email and then enrich them to see who's product qualified and look at what they're using,
Yep.
and then say, oh, well, you should be using this analytics product over here and this one over here.
No, I
Hey,
think
by the
it's a
way,
great move.
we'll do a reverse trial. We'll give you like a little bit of usage of these things every bit a month or so, and then hopefully they start to expand within the account. So I don't think it's a bad move. People can poo poo on their stock price or whatever, but This is tried and true time and time again.
Uh, just generally speaking, if you think about the stock market hasn't been favorable to marketing SaaS companies.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying Amplitude's pure marketing or anything like that. It's just it hasn't been favorable to analytics, marketing type products. They just haven't done well. Majority of them haven't done well in the public markets.
Someone tweeted something this morning, and it literally showed, it was talking about all these GEO things, right? These analytics things. But when you're like a system of record company, like a HubSpot or a Salesforce, your valuations tend to be higher. When you're just kind of like a little
Feature.
feature, your valuations tend to be a lot lower.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what it is. Well, I want to talk about some of the hard numbers around layoffs today. So I don't know if you've seen this, but earlier this week, right, we saw UPS, I think, 48,000 employees layoffs. Amazon up to 30,000 employees.
No,
Intel,
Amazon was it 13 or
that
17,000?
was this week, but there's we're talking about more recently, not even just this week. So you're right, it's a smaller number this week, but this is
The 30,000 comes from the market was estimating Amazon's about to lay off 30,000 people, and they came out with a real number, and it was
I
lower.
saw the real number. You're talking about the Wall Street Journal number, right? It was like
Uh,
14,000,
it was
something like that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got recent layoff announcement, UPS 48,000, Amazon up to 30,000, so it could be 17,000, right? Intel 24,000, Nestle 16,000, Accenture we've talked about already, 11,000, Ford 11,000, Novo Nordisk 9,000, Microsoft 7,000, PwC 5,600, right? So the labor market, it says the labor market is clearly weakening. And look, we don't have hard numbers from the Fed right now, so who knows what's happening.
ADP released numbers.
What did it say?
They're saying they're adding jobs in the last 4 weeks.
That's good. So what
Good
is
amount.
happening here?
They now do weekly job reports. ADP job report adding jobs. I think it was like 30,000 or something like that, or
Yeah.
10,000. 4-week data. They added 14,250 jobs per week for the 4 weeks ending October 11th.
Have you seen the graph where it shows that since ChatGPT 3.5 came out, that junior job hiring is trending downwards, whereas senior job hiring is continuing to go up?
I haven't seen that data, but here's what's interesting. I was watching CNBC yesterday.
Your favorite channel.
And it was either yesterday or day before. And the Perplexity, they had an interview with the, I believe, Perplexity founder and a few others.
You should know his name, Aravind.
Something like that. But right now, all these companies, when they're doing layoffs, one of the biggest things that they're citing is they're laying off because of AI efficiencies, right?
Mhm.
You've seen that?
Mhm.
And CNBC is like, is it really AI efficiency? So they're at this
Or is it
event.
just cutting the
Yeah,
bottom? Yeah.
they're at this event with a lot of AI people, like founders of these companies,
Mhm.
like Perplexity. They're like, "W- we don't see AI impacting a lot of these jobs.
Mhm.
We believe they overhired during COVID, and they're just using AI as a
You
scapegoat
see
to
the
cut."
Chamath tweet yesterday?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna say, guys, it's not me saying this. I don't want to get in trouble. So Chamath tweeted this yesterday. He said, "What is AI efficiency?" Something around this. He's like, "No, it's more so that people are cutting because of the 2021 like overhiring, but all the DEI initiatives too." He's like, "That's the reality of what's happening. They're cutting these people right now under the guise of
Ah.
kind of what you're saying, AI efficiency, because it's easy to say that, right?
Yes, and also,
And
if you
remote
look at
work too."
and if you say AI efficiencies,
Yeah,
like, "Oh, this company is becoming more efficient.
yeah,
They're AI forward.
yeah,
Maybe their stock price should go up."
yeah,
But if they just say, "Hey, we
yeah,
overhired and we're cutting,
yeah,
and we've had record profits,"
yeah.
like, you look really bad.
It's a bad story to tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but some of the quite a few of the AI people on CNBC, because they were switching to different
Mhm.
people, they're like, most of them were saying, "This isn't AI efficiencies." They're like, "These are just companies cutting because they overhired."
Yeah.
They're like, "We're seeing people hire more because of AI,
Mhm.
and it's just making people more
Yeah.
efficient, but
Yeah.
they're still hiring and they're not cutting
Yeah.
because of AI. We haven't seen it replace tons of
I
stuff."
mean, we talked about this last week. I think, don't get me wrong. I think we both think the AI efficiencies are coming. They're not quite like they're
No,
where we need it to be, right? But we did say this last week. We need more. We're hiring more engineers. We're looking for more engineers, right?
we haven't
Yeah.
cut a ton because of AI. Have you?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm like, I
No.
haven't seen one thing where it's just like,
But
"Oh, we can do this now. We
yeah.
don't need tons of people." What we have done from AI is, "Oh, it's made our people more efficient, so
Mhm.
we have greater output."
Yeah.
Cool. Push that forward to the customer.
I would say we're tougher now about the people on the team, and so what I mean by that is we don't want a group of has not haves and have nots, right? So if you're really good at AI, but I suck at AI, then you and I are going to be at odds, right, in the next couple years or so. So we don't want that to happen. So we're trying to lift everyone along with us, but you can't you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? And that's something that we want to make sure that we upskill everyone at the same time. And so all that to say, um, is with these like I'll give you one more thing. With these conversations you and I are having with our friends behind the scenes, other founders, right? What's happening right now? They're what are they saying? Oh, we're way more profitable than we've ever been,
Yeah.
right? And they are they are strictly saying that they're cutting for these same reasons, right? They're able to cut the people that they're able to confidently cut people that they weren't able to cut before. So maybe there is a little AI efficiencies there because behind the scenes, like it's not like they take pride in cutting people. They give them severance and all that type of stuff, but they're a lot more aggressive with cutting.
Yep. Check out this quote from this is on NBC News. This is from David Atour, a professor of economics at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, right? So they're
MIT?
talking about the recent layoffs and people saying it's AI. And straight up, it's much easier for companies to say, we are laying off because we're realizing AI related efficiencies than to say, we're laying off because we're not that profitable or
Yeah.
bloated or facing a slowing economic environment.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Like you and I work with so many large companies, and we're not seeing when we work with these companies in different departments, we're not seeing AI make everything so efficient where they can just lay off 10,000 plus
No,
people.
not yet. But for sure it's coming, but not yet. Definitely not yet.
Yeah.
But I would say the story works out well now because the efficiencies are coming and it is a weakening labor market or it's a weakening labor market, right? Or the economy is bad, right? So
I don't know. You
yeah.
saw the rate cuts yesterday, right? They did
Well, he's gonna cut
0.25%.
anyway. He was always gonna cut. That was already priced in.
Yeah, but it changed from we're cutting 3 times this year
We
to
might not cut in December.
we may not cut in December.
Yeah, which you saw it things tank after.
And the 10-year went up
Yeah.
because it was everyone was forecasting
That it
3
would
cuts
cut.
this
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and now they're saying they're undecided for December.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a great week for the markets and crypto and all that, but at least it looks like Xi Jinping and Trump got a deal done. So,
Yeah.
yeah. If you're in B2B, here's the deal. LinkedIn account-based marketing sucks, but it doesn't have to. With Carrot, it allows you to create personalized ads towards your customers and also personalized landing pages that align with the ads so you're gonna have higher conversions and influence pipeline reporting to prove that your ABM works. So if you wanna learn more, just go to carrot.ai and you can join the waitlist. Again, it's carrot, KARROT.ai, and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, one more thing on the efficiency thing, and then you can pick the next topic. So, Ethan Mullick cited this. So this is a study from Wharton, UPenn. Okay, so this Wharton study found that corporate ROI from generative AI from large scale tracking, they found that 75% already have a positive return on investment from AI, less than a 5% negative return. Also, 40% of business leaders now use AI daily themselves, right? So basically, you can see this chart over here. Well, those of you that are watching YouTube might be able to see it, but basically, tier one enterprise, 12 billion plus annual revenue, significantly positive ROI, right? So that is 26%. And then moderately positive ROI.
But what's the ROI coming from when you say AI? Like, what are they specifically using
So
AI?
it says, for example, clear financial returns or major operational improvements, right? And then moderate positive is measurable benefits, but limited or in early stages. So that's 31% on moderately positive. And then neutral ROI is 9%, which is cost and benefits roughly balanced so far.
I know you and I are on the same page. We think that technology is great. It's going to get much better over time. It's here to stay. It's going to have an impact on corporations. I just don't think most companies are really generating, at least enterprise companies are generating that much of a ROI from a lot of this AI
Right
stuff
now.
right now.
Right now.
And I'll give you a great example of this. Yesterday, when I was meeting up with a buddy, I don't think I mentioned the company name, right? Okay, great. So I was meeting up with a buddy, and they work at a Fortune 100 company.
Mm-hmm.
And this Fortune 100 company has a lot of employees. And we were having a serious conversation about everyone they have in marketing, everyone product, everyone engineering, and what they actually get done and all the inefficiencies because global teams do everything their own way. I was like, and we both were like, if the company cut half their staff, probably nothing would happen differently from a revenue aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking about all the engineers just working on things like SEO and helping with data and analytics. And then we're talking about how much they actually ship out or changes. And I was like, for them to only do this much work, it's like the average person must be only working like an hour or two a day. Even with like a lot of old archaic code that could slow things down, I'm like,
Mhm.
there's no way someone's working more than an hour or two a day.
Yep.
And they're like, exactly. They're like, a lot of these people just need to be laid off. And I'm like, I wonder how much bloat there is in the global
Dude,
organization.
okay, check this out. You like this. You like graphs. Okay, this I think this is a Wall Street Journal graph, but so this graph over here I'm showing Neil right now. So back in the 1900s, people were working an average of 58.5 hours per week and the yearly earnings were 15,000. Now keep in mind inflation, right? But you go all the way to like 2000 or so, or 2020, people are the hours worked per week has gone down like 58.5 per week to 34.2. And I think it's going to continue to decrease, right? Yearly earnings have gone up to 63,000. Services industry workers per 100 total workers is 50 total workers. So bloat, okay, bloat, right? Whereas before, when you had service industry
Wait, service
workers,
industry workers per 100 total workers?
yeah, so like 16 services, for the services industry, you had 16 workers per total 100 workers, right? Now you have 49, right? What this means here, I should pull up this graph over here. So this graph over here shows the number of people in different employment sectors, right? So back in the day, remember in 1825, farming was huge. Everyone was in farming,
Yeah,
right?
now there's
And then it
machines.
got cut down. So and then you had manufacturing to come up, right? 1825, manufacturing started to go up, but now it's gone down. So like farming has gone all the way down, okay? Manufacturing has gone all the way down. So like services have gone all the way up. What's gonna happen now? This is gonna go down.
In theory, time will
Yeah,
tell, but in
I'll
theory,
bet you. We want to bet?
I think it depends what industry.
Yeah,
Because like if you want to talk about services for cutting, lawns, yes, I think it's going to go down.
yeah.
If you want to talk about services for, let's say, uh
Artwork.
management consulting,
Uh-huh.
like for executives, I don't think it's going to really go down.
No, but I think the numbers, I think we're gonna
Total numbers,
yeah, total
yes.
numbers are gonna go down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think certain roles, like very strategic leadership type roles, you're gonna
Even
have,
our
yeah.
role, I think there's going to be an impact, but I don't think our teams are going to be cut in half.
No, but I think I think Brian Halligan's point. So Brian actually tweeted this. I think we're gonna look back at this disruption, AI, and observe that we handled this well too. So humans always adapt. This is the point, right? So people are like, oh, job loss. This, yeah, sure, but I will guarantee you, people are working on things that they like are happier working on today, but it's gonna be even better in the coming years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the big problem that you see in the corporate world is there's a lot of people getting paid and they're not doing much and they could just be getting fired and that'll create the downward jobs. I
Hmm.
just think companies right now are really bloated. I
Hmm.
think COVID really made a lot of companies bloated and most of them have not resized from it.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of which, you just mentioned we talk about consultancy, right? So look, so the big consultancy, so this we're talking McKinsey, Bain, and BCG will probably be fine because they are CYA insurance. CYA means cover your ass,
Yeah.
right? So they explain here, big companies typically that will hire these big firms. So CYA means if I hire you as an executive, I can just blame McKinsey or Bain, right?
Or a different example is if you're working at a company and you hire someone from McKinsey and they do a terrible job, you won't look bad to your boss if McKinsey messed up. Because if you pick a no-name brand and they do bad, your boss will be like, why'd you hire this company that has
Hmm.
no reputation, is not well known? If you hire McKinsey, they're gonna be like, well, they got a great
Yeah, they
reputation,
need to
so we don't blame you.
preserve more. Yeah.
Yes, they're
So
protecting their job.
yep.
That's what the CYA means.
Cover your ass. Okay, so so it says over here, McKinsey, Bain, BCG, because they're the brand names, are probably going to be fine as consultancies, right? But the rest of the consultancy industry could be in trouble, and stock price is already showing that, right? So you look at Accenture here, down 30%. Booz, I never even heard of Booz, down 52%. Capgemini down 26%. FTI Consulting, Gartner's down 50%, right? So you can see the graphs here; they're going straight down. Now we can't. It's never that simple. You can't just say it's like AI or whatever, but maybe you can. So
But look at Accenture's revenue is still going up.
yeah,
Valuations are down.
yeah,
Revenue's not going down for all of them.
yeah.
Give me another one. Capgemini?
Capgemini.
Gemini stock. Let's see. Quarterly, they're down 0.28%. So I would not say how much is Capgemini's stock tanked in a year? They're
From that,
down
it's 30%
15%.
from what I saw in the
Oh,
thing.
year to date, 7%. 1 year is 15%. What's another one?
Uh,
Globant? Is Globant in there?
no,
Globant's a similar type of
Gardner,
coin.
do Gardner. Is Gardner public?
I don't think
It
Gartner's probably.
but, I mean, it shows, if it kinda looks like a
Oh,
stock
yeah, it
price
is.
here, yeah.
Gartner, year to date, they're down 48.32%.
Wow, okay, try one more,
Okay,
booze.
but let's look at the revenue. Gartner's revenue up June 2025 year over year is 5.73.
Yeah. These are, we're looking at valuations here, and then you're looking at revenue,
Valuations.
yeah.
Yeah, and we just want to clarify this because just because the stock goes up or down, it doesn't mean the company's growing uh, as fast. So, for example, if I look at Walmart over a year period, their stock is up 26.35%. Okay, 26%. Their revenue is up 4.76% quarter over quarter. The previous quarter was 2.54%. So they're growing, call it roughly 5% a year. I'm
Yeah.
just giving a higher number. When you look at their annual and look at 2025, it's 5%. But yet the stock is up 23%.
So this is interesting. So Reuters was the one that came up with this first, and the quote is, I mean, you hear this quite a bit. It's a bit exaggerated now. AI is killing consulting, right? So, for example, if a company performs a project in-house, it costs around $1 million, but consulting firms like Accenture have been offering the same service for $200,000. Now, with machine learning, companies can do the same job themselves for just $10,000. Will consulting become a forgotten profession in the AI era, like the coachman of the past? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're still going to be
I don't
consulting,
either.
and I think they're still going to be able to charge a premium, but probably less, because if you're a CEO, you would be foolish not to say, hey, with AI, we want to get some of those efficiencies. So maybe they can price pressure them down a little bit. But I think these companies will be okay.
I would actually look at it from a different perspective. Accenture, if I look at the 1 year graph as of today, is down October 30th, 27.84%. Okay. Accenture is growing in revenue. The real issue is Accenture used to be worth roughly 30 times profit. Is a company like that supposed to be worth 30 times profit? Probably not. If you look at it now, they're worth around 20 times profit.
Mm,
And the reality is a lot of these companies were just overvalued.
yep. By the way, um, do you want to know a sneaky way to decrease your cost per clicks on your Google Ads?
Go for it.
So check this out.
Yes, I
So
do want to know a sneaky way.
So, looking for an injury lawyer, do not click. Cost $200. So, literally, this is an ad for an injury lawyer. And it just says at the end, do not click, because each click costs $200, right?
Yeah.
And so, for sure, I think it decreased the CPC, but his quality score probably comes down. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But hey, I like it.
It's sneaky, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, because of the quality score thing that we're talking
Yeah,
about, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Google
This
wants
is
you to
very
click the ads.
short-sighted. It may
Yeah.
work for a day or two or three, and then
Yeah.
it's not going to work
I think
anymore.
it's funny, though.
It is
But did
funny.
you know that Disney has started selling Black Hat SEO packages?
Go for it. Yes, I did see, but explain
You've
it.
seen this, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny. It says, so you search for Disney, and it says like Black Hat SEO packages over here, and people might be wondering, how's this happening.
Yeah. Do you know how it's happening?
So from what I read, I mean, there's a lot of dirty links,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then it gets picked up.
And then just things getting messed up and people doing stuff, but Disney isn't really selling black hat
No,
SEO
it
packages.
just
They're
goes to
not in
show you
that
that like
business.
Google's always figuring things out, and they're not going to be 100% accurate. Like nothing's going to
Correct.
be 100. Like there's no information source that's 100% accurate. Um, Did you remember I told you about that the guy that founded $8 billion companies, so 8 separate $1 billion companies, Brad Jacobs?
That's the waste management guy, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's done like 8 different things, and
He tends to acquire the companies.
he tends to buy, and like he tends to give a lot of equity and hire like an amazing management team, and then he kind of just moves on to the next thing. But it was interesting because I was listening to a podcast he was on, and he said that the CEO should be in everything. Like like basically kind of what we talked about, like the fact that you think you can just hire a CEO and then just let them do their thing, is not the reality, because they're not going to have the same vision that you have, right? And ultimately, it's got to be you in the more details you're involved. For example, for you, okay, you might not be managing people, but you're in finance, okay, you're in sales for the big
But I
deals,
don't
right?
go to the meetings. Like they had a meeting in Chicago and one in Europe where
Yeah.
they're going all the
But okay,
finances.
get my point here, right? So okay, when we talk on this podcast, it's like, okay, you're mostly involved with like, driving traffic or strategy stuff, or like,
Yeah.
that type of stuff, right? But there's a lot more that goes into it. Okay, you're gonna tell me you're not involved with finance. You're not gonna
No,
tell
no,
me
I
you're
am.
involved. Yeah,
I just don't.
yeah,
I don't get involved in everything. And what I mean by that is I won't go to all the meetings,
hmm,
but even with finance, they had their meetings and I'll get the recap and
yeah,
I'll tell them what I want
yeah,
changed or adjusted or what I think is off.
yeah.
But I don't have the time to go fly all the way to Europe to just meet with each country lead and be like, all right, what's the budgeting for next year?
So watch. Okay, so you're involved with strategy, you're involved with like, driving traffic, right? What else are you involved with? Just very high level.
I'm involved in anything that I'm involved with most things. I was I did a client pitch earlier this week.
Uh-huh.
I follow up with the sales team to see if they followed up on what the client thought.
Yeah.
I didn't get the answer, so I texted the potential client directly.
Wow. Okay. I bet your team loved that.
I screenshotted it. I'm like, they love the presentation. I'm like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah.
No joke. I just did it myself. Um, I'm involved with 2026 revenue forecasting. I don't forecast.
Uh-huh.
I just question their forecast and
Yeah.
try to understand what their logic is.
Yep.
2026 profitability, so finance.
Mhm.
I'm involved with reviewing M&A deals. I'm involved with product launches.
Mhm.
Today, I just tested the new version of Answer the Public.
Yeah.
Technically, I've been testing it every week,
Yeah.
but I
So
screenshot a lot of bugs and sent it to my
yeah.
team on WhatsApp.
Product, user testing,
Uh-huh.
CRO on your
If I
website.
get a customer complaint,
Yeah.
I follow up with my team on what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Like, I got a customer complaint the other day from someone who's paying our India team, and they're asking for all this stuff. I added in the person who runs India, and she sent it to the team. I followed up if they're happy,
Yeah.
and she's just like, "Neil, this was closed before I was in here. They're paying us only a few $100s a month, and they're expecting all this stuff," which, by the way, is not profitable.
Yeah.
And then I followed up with them, and they said they're happier now, and look at all the results,
Yeah.
although it costs us a lot of money. And when I
Okay.
say cost us, we made way less revenue than what we spent. But at the end of the day, is that the client's fault? No, that's our fault.
Yeah.
So
So my
then I
point,
had to fix this
you
stuff.
got okay, you got product stuff, you got customer success stuff, you got sales stuff as well, you got finance stuff too. You got what else? What else you got? We're talking M&A stuff too. Okay, we
Yeah.
projections. What else you
But,
have?
overall brand,
Okay.
like the client example I gave is you can't just fire the client. That's our fault.
Yeah.
You still got to make sure people are happy.
Uh-huh.
Because if people aren't happy, what's
Yeah.
going to happen 5 years from
Reputation.
now? Your
Yep.
reputation is going to
Yep.
be screwed,
Yep.
right? Content. I'm going to
Content.
go film content
We're
later
literally
today.
filming content right now. He's
Yeah.
gonna go film content later. You got to do a webinar every 2 weeks as well. Okay, got to fly around, speak at
Networking.
conferences,
I'm
networking.
I'm I'm going to dinner today to meet a lot of entrepreneurs who are successful,
Yeah.
build up more relationships.
Uh-huh.
Do I want to do it?
Yeah.
No.
Face of the company, right? So my point of saying all this is that there's a lot more. Like it's very nice to say, oh, you can delegate all these things, but the reality is, even though you have other people responsible, you're still jumping around, and I'm doing the same thing too. And do we necessarily like jumping around? I don't know. Like I've been like my COO told
No.
me, you're like a fruit fly. You're like you just keep like hovering around.
Dude, that's a great
Yeah,
analogy.
I'm like, yeah, I totally do hover around. I was like, I told you yesterday. I was like, I would like to be a fruit fly that hovers around the bigger poop, not the small poop. You know what I mean? Like you just get to bigger and bigger poop as you go on. It's just like the different like Honda Civic, and then you go to like a Toyota Camry. You just get higher, like bigger problems, right? So yeah, absolutely, we're fruit flies. Well, at least
Technically,
I
you
am.
want smaller and smaller poop.
I want big poop.
No,
Bless you.
because I know what you're saying, but the Mercedes-Benz, thank you. The Mercedes-Benz is not a bigger poop, it's a smaller poop. The
Uh,
Honda Civic is a bigger
Okay,
poop.
fine. Yeah, that's true. That's
You
true.
just have to
That's
reverse
true.
it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You want
Yeah.
smaller and smaller pieces
Yeah.
of poop over
But
time.
my point is, I think, like, do you agree with what Brad is saying here? Yeah, the CEO should be involved in everything, right? It's like you're okay. Maybe that's the wrong way. The founder should be involved in everything.
So I think about Amplitude. They launched a free tool. You and I both tested it.
Mm.
At nighttime, I was sending my team screenshots of it and breaking down what they do better than us and what we do better than
Uh-huh.
them and
Uh-huh.
where we need to improve. Right? And a lot of us were messing. This wasn't like at, 3 p.m. in the day. This was like at 6, 7
Yeah.
p.m. my time. For
Yeah.
some of my other team members, it was like 11
And
p.m.
who's
for
gonna
them.
do it if you don't do it?
Oh, yeah, they're all messaging us back and forth. Like
Yeah.
even for them, when it was like 11 p.m., they're still messaging back and forth. Um, when he says the founder or CEO, whatever you want to call it, should be involved in everything, they shouldn't, because it should run without their involvement in everything. But it's more so they have to, or else it
Mhm.
doesn't work well or
Yes.
grow well.
Yes. It's not like we want to,
Yes.
but we have to. Yes.
Yes.
That's a better way to put it. Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't want to. Do you
No,
want to?
no, no. I don't want to be a fruit fly, but I
Yeah.
kind of enjoy being a fruit fly sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it is fun.
Yeah.
But I just look at it overall as is
It
like
does drive chaos with the team too, like, when we're just hovering around sometimes when we hover around too much, it's like, it
yeah.
does drive chaos, and I get it, but at the same time, it's a trade-off, like, our greatest strength is also our greatest weakness too, right? If someone is over-involved with everything, they also sometimes can right, that can cause more problems too. So, okay, last thing I'll say here on this, so, um, Brian Halligan tweeted this, so, basically, this is the Jensen Huang,
Wait, but before you get into that, can we go back to one thing?
yeah,
Do you guys do company all-hand meetings?
uh-huh,
Are you leading them?
yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're involved in that.
Like, well, I'm, like, leading with the first 5 minutes of the story, like, I have to make a video on Friday saying, "Okay, here's how we're trending towards a vision. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Here's what we're changing. Here's the things I need to do better. Here's this," right? And then so I need to be motivational on Fridays, like a coach, right? And then when I appear at all hands, sometimes I'm a coach, sometimes I'm a, "Hey, we need to do this better," type of thing. Do I wanna do that? No. And
yeah.
some of my teams watches this too. No. So, yeah.
We just had an all-hands meeting today at 9:30 AM,
Uh-huh. Oh,
and
this is not your thing.
no, I learned about it, I think it was yesterday, because my CEO was telling me how he's, like, creating a deck or something for the all hands. I didn't even know we had all hands. So then my co-founder, Mike, my CEO is also named Mike, but my co-founder, Mike's like, "Hey, you joining the all hands? It's starting 9:30. Here's a link if you're not or if you want to." And then I'm like, I got a podcast from 9:30 to 10:30. I was able to make the podcast shorter, so I
Uh,
ended the podcast, call it like a 10:08.
yeah,
So then I joined the all hands
yeah,
for 10 minutes,
yeah.
showed my face, but I already know what they're gonna cover. I looked at the all hands. I think they do different ones for different regions,
Mhm.
because it's just time zone.
Yep.
But when I joined, maybe 380 something people.
Yeah,
So I'm estimating here, but maybe roughly 30% of our staff were on it,
yeah.
right? Um,
And you have it's global, so you don't have everyone in the world on, obviously. Yeah,
yeah, it's too hard because
yeah,
it's middle of the night for certain people.
yeah,
But yeah, when I look at that, like that's some of the stuff that I'm not involved in,
yeah,
and there's countless examples of that in my organization
yeah.
where like I'm not involved in every sales training.
Mhm.
But I am involved in all divisions. I'm just not involved in
Yeah,
every
yeah,
single meeting or
yeah,
every little
totally.
minute detail.
And your problem set changes over time as you continue to scale, right,
Yeah.
obviously. The thing I would say, what I learned is as much as I don't think you're a fan of, like, I'll just speak for myself, like, having to do the all hands, right, like, communicate the message and
No,
repeat the
that's
message.
not me.
You know why I'm not a fan of it? Is because I live with myself all the time, so I know what the message is in my head, right? But people don't know what the message is, and what I learned from my team, like, I heard this last year, is like, "Hey, we could really use more of those videos from you and the all hands because we wanna hear from you because we don't know what you know," and because 'cause they're like, "You see the entire battlefield." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fair." So I do it, I appear, and, I try to communicate stories because stories they blow over well, right? Meaning that
Yeah.
people absorb it more. So, I don't know what you say on those calls, but that's my positioning now, and I think it does help. And I find that the best messages need to be repeated over time because people forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you do it when you appeared for 5-10 minutes? Hey guys,
No, I didn't say anything.
you did,
I
or
was
you
on
just showed
mute
your face?
because
Yeah.
people were presenting. So when we do our
Oh,
all hands,
yeah,
there's a deck. People make their versions of the slide. It all gets
yeah.
compiled together, and people present their part.
I bet you people would like to hear from you.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, you're just not gonna do it. I think you should do it.
No, I could do it. I just didn't know
Yeah,
until last. Uh, I was when I was driving to LA. So call like around 3 o'clock
yeah,
is when I found out there's all hands today.
yeah,
And then when I found out the time today and I was given the invite, I already had something that was scheduled a week ago for a podcast interview, and I already
yeah,
changed it on them once.
yeah,
So I don't want to be the prick that
yeah, yeah,
changes
yeah,
on
yeah,
them
yeah, yeah, yeah,
twice,
yeah,
right? So then I was just like, but I did compromise. I got them to do a 30-minute podcast instead of an hour. And I didn't tell them, hey, we need to end this earlier. I just controlled the podcast pace,
hmm,
and I know you know how to do
yeah,
this
yeah,
really well too, because we've done it so often, where we can make it
hmm,
end because there's not much more to talk about,
yeah,
because we can pick the talk tracks and the subjects and just
yeah,
make it so we have extra time, or
yeah,
we can make it drag out. And I
yeah,
chose to make it end earlier so then that way I could go to the all hands,
yeah,
show my face. People were talking. I didn't want to be the prick that interrupts them
yeah.
when they get to share the highlights of their departments or their accomplishments or their team's accomplishments. So I didn't want to interrupt, but I showed up for a little bit, and I'll get the summary from either my co-founder or a few other people on the team, or the CEO. But yeah, you're right. What makes me really feel like a prick, I was in Dallas for the high level event.
Yeah.
So when I was there, uh, two people came up, they're high. They're like, "Oh, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm so and so." I'm like, "Oh, cool. What do you do?" And they're like, "I work for you." And I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, cool." I felt really bad then.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, "Oh, how long?" One was like 4 years.
Yeah.
The other one I think was 2 years. Other people were also hitting me up, how to take some pictures. They came back to take pictures. Other people were trying to take pictures. So I was there for around an hour answering people's questions. Then I went around the conference to go try to find them, to try to get them coffee or something before
Mm.
my flight. I could not find them. I just felt like a piece of crap
Yeah.
because I should try to know everyone in my company, but it's really hard at our scale, right? The moment you hit, I don't know what the number is. We're 1,000 plus, call it, but the moment you hit, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 500, and your teams are spread all over, and you have different divisions, maybe it starts getting harder. But 1,000 plus for sure. I think it's really hard to know everyone on a first name basis.
No. Dunbar's number, you can really only know 150 people at a time.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But I just felt really bad, and I'm like, okay, I need to go hang out with these people, buy them coffee, and get to know them
You
more,
know what I
and
remember?
apologize.
Maybe this will motivate you to do the like 5-10 minute spiel each time you appear in all hands. When I worked for W Promote, this is like 16, 17 years ago. Whenever we did all hands each month, the CEO would speak and like everyone was listening intently because we wanted to know where we were going. And now I'm just recalling this now as I'm thinking about it. Because when my team told me this, I didn't connect these two moments. I'm like, yeah, they do want to hear. And like, even though you're not the CEO, technically you are the leader of the company, right? Not tech, you are the leader of the
Yeah.
company. And so I think when they hear where they're going, it motivates them, it excites them. And imagine all the other goodwill it creates. Other people talk about it, maybe they'll tell other people to join. So I think that 5-10 minutes goes a long way if you do it.
That's not the issue. I don't ever know when we have all
That's
hands.
your fault.
That is
That's
my
your
fault,
fault.
and I think I know the reason. It's not like anyone's trying to cut me off.
Yeah.
I'm the only one not on, Microsoft. So
That's
you
also your fault.
yeah, so we have, like, Outlook.
Yeah.
I still use Gmail, and I don't wanna switch. So I don't have a corporate email address.
I think this 5 minutes spent every month will make you more money. How about that?
Or all hands are not monthly.
Oh, how often?
Global all hands are maybe a few times a year max.
Oh, dude, even better ROI.
Yeah, I know, but they probably forget to tell me because
Yeah.
I bet you what ends up happening is an email just goes out saying it's all hands to everyone on the corporate email. Now, technically, my domain's owned by the company, so I am on a corporate email, but I'm on Gmail
Yeah.
when I mean everyone else, literally everyone
Yeah.
else is on Outlook.
Yeah.
And there's a few people who have Gmail as well, but they have
Yeah.
Gmail and Outlook.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just on Gmail.
Guys, this is a Neil problem. You know who said this who this person said the storyteller is the most powerful person in the room. Who said this?
I don't know.
Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs. So I think when you do it, you can report back on how well it's worked because they continue to want me to do it even though I ask if I can stop doing it. They continue to ask me to do it. So anyway, I want to give one more thing here. So did you know the Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO's trifecta, his success trifecta, his management style trifecta? You want to know what it is?
Go for it. I know
Okay.
quite a bit about his management style already, though.
Okay. These you probably know already, but one, most people don't know this. He doesn't do any one-on-ones with his staff, okay?
Yeah.
Because they're already like high level, like they're all SVP, VPs, right? He has 60 direct reports, so he doesn't believe in having a management layer. And the one that I like the most that people on my team for sure don't like is the criticize publicly trifecta. So this is known as sure you praise publicly, but you also criticize publicly as well. And it's actually worked out well. And I would say that he actually has another thing that he does. Maybe we'll call this, I don't know if it's trifecta, fourfecta, whatever, right? Quadfecta. Um, but I like what he does around the day. I think it's a daily top 5. So basically, you just talk about what you're working on, but at the end of it, you talk about what trends are interesting to you. So it was like 10, 15 years ago when he noticed that a lot of people kept talking about machine learning and deep learning. And at that point, he knew that they had to get into AI. And that's how they're able to do that. And
Mm,
so
cool.
we have a function of that. But Brian Halligan, from former HubSpot CEO, he said, despite Jensen's astronomical success, I don't see a lot of CEOs borrowing his plays. So specifically the 60 direct reports, no one-on-ones, and criticize publicly trifecta.
Yeah, I think it also varies per company, and I'm not saying that's the right way or wrong way. I think you just gotta find your own style.
Yep.
Um, and I'll give you another example. When I met up with my buddy, as I mentioned, he works for a Fortune 100 company. They do over 100 billion a year in revenue. 100 billion.
Mhm.
He's not a C-level.
Mhm.
He's not the layer below. He's the layer below that.
Mhm.
So when you have 100 plus billion in revenue, when you're 2 levels lower than the CEO, that's a lot of people,
Mhm.
right? He interacts with the CEO and the CEO interacts with a lot of people on his level. And it may not be a direct report, but he's interacting with people and sending reports to the CEO and helping with projects and other people are. That's a really hands-on CEO.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, even though he may not have 60 direct reports, I don't know what the number is, he's interacting and reporting with probably 100 to 200 people in his organization at any time. And I'm like, that's hardcore.
You mean the CEO?
The CEO
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying that's the right
Yeah.
way to run things or not run things, but even in that organization, I think they should cut
Yeah.
50% of their staff.
I think there's a lot to learn from that because Steve Jobs from Apple had the top 100. Usually you're going to have a top 100 to 200 people that you go to. I'm sure you have like a top 50 to 100 people that you constantly go to, right?
Not nowhere near 100, but we're also not as big where
Okay, there's a top 50. Top 25?
top like 30.
Yeah. But these are the people you know you can count on, right?
Correct.
And then some people cycle out of your favor sometimes too if you're not getting things quickly enough, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
percentage-wise, I probably interact with I have more top people
Yeah.
than like Apple, because if you look at 30 people, I don't have the employee base that they have. While with Apple, they may have, I don't know, 50, 100,000 employees.
Yep.
So top 100 is a very tiny percentage. And then if you look at organizations your size,
Yep.
you're interacting with almost everyone,
Yeah.
right? So you're
So
even better than me.
no, I'm not actually. It's like there's probably, I don't know, 10 that I go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what I would say is it goes back to Dunbar's number again. So Steve Jobs top 100, right? Jensen has 60, you have 50. It's usually like it's 150, below 150 is the number. The guy you just mentioned, it's like 150, 200 people or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And going back to your point too, um when you think about Jensen style, oh, Elon style, right? So we did like a planning session earlier this week. This is the first time I ever ran the Elon algorithm. So just to reinforce, it's QDSA, right? So whenever you have a problem in your company, you question, then you delete, then you simplify, then you speed up, and then you automate, right?
Yeah.
We tried it because the question I asked people was like, hey, what's one stupid thing you think we're doing as a company right now, right? And these are all the things people are questioning. And so we started methodically going down these things, and oh my God, we started deleting so much. We started simplifying so much. We didn't even think about speeding up or automating yet, because a lot of people today, they're like, oh, AI, I want to automate everything, right? But I'm telling you, like, love or hate Elon, this algorithm does a good job. Am I saying all the things we're talking about,
Yeah.
how you do it, how I do it is the right way? We're just saying, no, this is just what works for us. And it's worth experimenting with things. So,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, you pick one. All right, so I wanted to take a moment to tell you about my podcast co-host Neil's agency called NP Digital, and they work with a whole host of global companies or a global organization. Also, Neil has SEO tools such as Ubersuggest and Answer to Public. All you have to do is go to npdigital.com to learn more, and we'll see you on the other side.
How ChatGPT ads will make you rich.
Okay, so this guy, I actually know him, Marketing Max, so great guy. So he's like, I'm about to spend an ungodly amount of money on ads inside of ChatGPT. Holy cow! So ChatGPT is about to introduce ads, right? Not only that, they're about to go public for maybe $1 trillion, right? So basically, ChatGPT is about to introduce ads. You spent months telling it about your divorce, your new job search, your kids' health problems, where you vacation, what you're afraid of. OpenAI just hired 630 Meta employees, 20% of their entire company, to figure out how to turn those memories into ads. Projected revenue, $25 billion by 2029. So here's how it works. ChatGPT's new memory feature doesn't just remember what you tell it to save. It references all your past conversations automatically. Every chat, every detail, every vulnerable moment.
Even if you delete them?
Even if you delete them. Yes. I remember reading about this a few months ago. Even if you delete it, they still have it.
Yeah.
This is ChatGPT, right? So where you live, your pets' names, your family members, your dietary restrictions, your career struggles, your health anxieties. So when ads roll out in 2026, that memory becomes targeting data. Ask about running shoes. It already knows you hate gyms, but love hiking because you mentioned it 3 months ago. Ask for recipe ideas. It knows your kid has a peanut allergy from panic conversations last summer, right? So the answer is yes, because Meta is OpenAI now, right? So what's interesting to me, I mean, this kind of gets me to want to, maybe invest at that $1 trillion valuation, maybe let it come down a little bit, right?
I'm okay. I'm not investing in it.
So let me finish on this part real quick. We can come back to that in a moment. We can talk about that. So why we care? OpenAI wants to monetize free users via ChatGPT ads by 2026, according to reports. So this is why people, when someone, the YouTuber, tells me that, oh, you can't make money on a $20 subscription, that was missing the point entirely. They have 800 million users. So
800 million active users weekly.
yes, which is a lot.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a big difference in total users, by
Yeah.
the way. 800 million active is a
Yeah.
huge number.
So look, I'm excited to spend money on the ads here. And whenever a new channel comes out, that's when you want to go hard because it's cheap. That's like when Google first came out when we are still in
Yeah.
high school, right? So
Yes. Yeah, you and I will spend our arm and a leg on it.
yeah.
Our clients will as well. What we find with ChatGPT and it's or what at least I find with it at its valuation, even if it's a trillion, let's say it goes to $1 trillion, I look at it as like the revenue's not there yet. It'll grow into it, and its price could go to 2 trillion, 3 trillion, four
You'll
trillion.
get
I'm
a
not.
better return elsewhere.
Yeah, we get a
Yeah.
better return elsewhere. And like I
Yeah.
just rather park the money with myself, and I can do a lot of deals where I double my money overnight.
See, that's such a good quote. I'd rather park the money with myself. That's
Yeah.
good. See, that should be quoted. Okay. So I'm gonna pick oh, this one, the one I mentioned earlier before you. You look like you want to pick one. You want to pick one?
No, you go
Okay.
for it.
So this is so Elon said this. It's a real weakness to want to be liked. A real weakness, and I do not have that. And so this is him talking to Andrew Sorkin from New York Times,
Mhm.
and I think this is interesting because I think over time, some of the nicest people I've known that became successful CEOs or founders, they became battle hardened. So they're still very kind, they're still very respectful, but they don't care nearly as much as they used to about being liked. I think you
Yes.
didn't really have this problem. You might have had a little bit of this problem in the beginning, very early in your career. I didn't know you back then, but I for sure had this problem in my early career, right? Um, and so I do believe that if you're going to try to build something for the long term, you have to approach things here. And this is the graph I wanted to show you: the unkind truth versus a kind lie. Do you know what the difference is?
No.
Okay, so here, check this out. I sent this to my CTO the other day, and it basically here I gotta pull this up for you. I sent him a lot of messages. Oh my god. Well, why don't you react to the real weakness first while I pull this thing up?
So I don't know how you have been, but we're human. So naturally it affects your emotions or your feelings. You agree with that statement, right?
Yes.
And I believe to Elon, to some extent, that it can affect his feelings and emotions. Like I've seen interviews with him where he gets teary eyed in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
We're human beings. What I found the solution to be, I know this sounds bad, is I just try not to see it and I ignore it
Mm,
because it affects me a lot less. And I just keep moving on and doing what I think is the best.
mm. So I think you'll like this based on what you just said.
Okay.
So on one side for this graph over here, right? You have unkind truth, okay, versus a kind lie. So let me explain what these two are. So an unkind truth is when I'm direct to you and you're direct to me. So in the moment you might be unkind. So for example, I don't know, you just lost the audience or like whatever, or like I might tell you something that's like, oh, hey,
Or like if you're like,
yeah.
Eric, if I say, Eric, you're going bald.
Yeah, or I
You
think
need to do something.
I think you're getting fat, Neil.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
And keep in mind, I'm skinny and Eric has a full set of hair. So
yeah,
neither of these
yeah.
things are true, but we're
Yeah,
just giving you
but we
examples.
would tell each other if we think these things, right? So unkind truth, right?
I wouldn't tell you if you're going bald.
But you would tell me if I'm getting fat.
No,
Oh, overweight. I would for sure tell you.
I would not. Like you're talking about like just gaining 5 pounds.
No, like 50 pounds.
I would tell you like, hey, let's go. I wouldn't tell you, hey, you're getting fat. I would say, hey, let's go
You
work
wouldn't say
out
I'm getting
together.
fat, but you would say, hey, Eric, I am concerned for your health.
Yes, but what I would first try to say, I'm like, dude, we should work out together.
Yeah.
When are you free? And I'll
Okay,
just work out
and
with you.
then it becomes 100 pounds. What happens?
No, no, no. I would work out with
Yeah,
you and try to fix
yeah.
it without
But
saying it
what if I don't
directly.
listen and I gain another 50 pounds?
Even before the 50 pounds, I would say something.
Yeah, but you would start saying things that are perhaps unkind in the moment, but it's the truth, right?
Yes, I
But
would.
and so what happens here when you have a functional
Even
system?
50 pounds, I wouldn't let it get 50 pounds. If you
Yeah,
gain like 30, 40 pounds of
yeah,
fat, I would
yeah.
be like, hey, dude, we need to go to the gym
Yeah,
together.
exactly. So, but or you tell me the kind lie, Eric, you look so good. Oh my God, so good.
Nah, yeah.
So what happens here is in the moment, if you get away with it in a moment, but you actually end up building a dysfunctional system. So it gets worse and worse. So this is how it was when you've seen maybe even with your companies, both of our companies, maybe in the when At least I was just kind. I was too scared to tell the truth. Too scared to tell
Yeah.
the truth. But what happens is, so when you have extreme commitment to the truth, it makes relationships acutely dysfunctional, but systems chronically functional. So it mentions Elon here, right? So an extreme commitment to kindness makes relationships acutely functional, but systems chronically dysfunctional. So like the UK, for example, or they're talking about like, I'm not going to go into politics,
Yeah.
but you look, if you keep going unkind truth, it compounds over time. You build a very functional system. That's what you want to do with a company.
Yeah. I agree with that. I tend to just tell people the truth.
Yeah. And people don't want to hear it, but it's
Yes.
okay.
I think the key is when you tell them the truth. Let's use the example of Eric gaining weight. Okay. Eric has not gained weight. If I would start with not being as direct and I would try to add some finesse. And I would say, hey, Eric, I want to start eating cleaner. Can we do a challenge? I want a buddy system. You help me and I'll help you. Let's try to see if we can do a challenge for a week if we can both eat really clean and only eat X amount of meals and this type of food. Like, are you down? And then if he says yes, great. If he says no, I'll be like, okay, how about we try working out together with each other, every day for 7 days. Let's see if we can do like the, what is it, 30-day hard or something like that?
75 hard.
75 hard?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's 75 hard where you go crazy for, 75 days when it comes to working out. Let's just try doing it for 2 weeks
Yeah.
or a month,
Yeah.
and we'll be each responsible to each other. So, I would start trying to come up with solutions
Mhm.
instead of just being direct and just tearing you apart. And it's not that I don't have the issue of saying something to you because, like, if something's really bad for you, I will tell you.
Mhm.
But I believe in most cases, just telling people, like, you're gaining weight, it doesn't do any good. I think people need a solution or they need motivation to go and try to fix things, right? Like, same with work. When someone does something that I don't like, instead of me just saying, like, this product sucks or this release sucks or this has bugs, I go and I document the bugs and I'll be like, hey, can we fix this? The load time's too long. People assume that nothing's loading.
Mhm.
Oh, we can't. It would be too expensive to load all this up in 2 seconds instead of 6 seconds. Okay, can we actually create a design? Because I don't want to increase cost 7x. Can we actually create a design that lets people know what they're going to get in 7 seconds or that it's loading so then that way they just don't leave? I'm a big believer that instead of just lying to people and saying everything's okay when it's not, you work with them on solving the problem
Yeah.
instead of just saying you suck.
You know what I do now instead of just going to them directly? But before I do that, if you start to gain weight and you saw your mom, what's the first thing she would say?
Right now, how much weight am I gaining?
As a kid, even 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or whatever.
My mom would have been happy.
Oh, because she want you to, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
because I was really skinny. I
okay.
was always in the 1 percentile for
What
weight.
if you lose another 10 pounds, you see your mom right now? What would she say?
She would be like, "You're skinny, you're not eating
She ain't gonna sugarcoat
enough."
it. Exactly. So whenever I gain 5 pounds or whatever, my mom's the moment she sees me, she used to call me, she's like, "Oh, looks like someone got fat," right? So, and then I will go back to her, I'm like, "Look who's talking," right? So we just start talking at each other. But my point is, like, our moms are it's unkind truths, right? Because
Yes.
they want the best for us, right? Now, that being said, in a corporate world, like, with people,
You get in
you have to
trouble.
have some finesse, right? So the way I do it is like, let's say, I'm working with you. Instead of saying going hitting you hard immediately, I'll say, "Hey, Neil, so how do you think things are going right now?" Right? "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, and then I'll be like, "Okay, so what stories are you telling yourself right now?" "Well, I think I need to do this, that, and like whatever." Okay, so what do you need to do to improve it, right? So then they start to answer with their solutions, and I'm not solving it for them. Now, do I have the patience for that all the time? Absolutely not. But does it work well? It does.
Yeah, and you made me think of a situation. I'm a big believer in the unkind truth, but it only depends who it's to.
Mm,
Like, if it's a business colleague, I understand I need finesse.
mhm.
If it's a friend like you, I'm probably gonna be a little bit more direct
Yeah.
than I would be in, a corporate environment,
Well,
right?
even Mike's a good friend of yours, Kamo,
Yeah,
right? Like, yeah,
I'm direct with him,
yeah,
and I'm pretty direct with you, right?
yeah,
And when I say I'm pretty direct, I think I'm very direct
yeah,
with you. I just I wouldn't add the finesse if you were 50 pounds. I would tell you beforehand.
yeah.
But if the 50 pounds for some other health reasons that you can't control, because some people have weight
Totally.
issues.
There's
Like I
always
have family
outliers.
members that have weight
Yeah, yeah.
issues and they
Yeah.
can't control it for other reasons like thyroid or
Uh-huh.
whatever it may be. I would not just tell them like, "Hey, something's wrong," right?
Yeah.
You have to understand
Yeah.
what's causing. Like I know some people who gain a lot of weight when they're stressed out, and I would never tell them you're gaining weight.
Mhm.
Instead, I try to figure out why they're stressed and I try to help solve the root cause of it
Mhm.
so they can get healthier.
Yep.
But there's certain instances, like yesterday, I was dealing with my home and the construction of my home, and
Even today?
yeah, even today, and I just went off on people.
Mhm.
I was just going off, and when I mean I was going off, like I was really going
Yeah.
off, and I was very firm. I wasn't yelling at them, but they all knew I was pissed off.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, there's a lot of incompetence, and I want to know who's causing the incompetence.
Yeah.
An example of this, and this is a real example, they're telling me, we need more budget. We need to buy more door stops. We need another $3,500. But there was a lot of this little stuff and it added up to 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. It was literally somewhere between 60 and 70 grand.
Mhm.
And I was like, we've had our doors for a while, right? They're like, yes. Some doors are sliding doors. You don't need door stops for this. Some doors swing. When a door swings, you need a door stop, right? Yes. How long have we known our doors for? So who's the person in charge of counting the door stops? Shouldn't you just count X amount of swinging doors means X amount of door stops? If if an entry to a door is a double door and it swings, you need two door stops.
Mhm.
I'm like, this isn't rocket science. I'm like, why are we working with people who are incompetent when I'm getting charged a premium dollar for a luxury home?
Mhm.
If you're building a home in Beverly Hills, one would assume it's a luxury home. I'm not trying to be a prick here. This is
Mhm.
the reality.
Mhm.
And you're probably charging you more because it's Beverly Hills. You agree with
Yeah,
that
yeah.
statement?
Yeah.
Trust me, I negotiated. I tried finding so many people, and a lot of people were off. Like they had another one. Oh, we hired one of the best stone people. And you know how I found that out? When we went to go pick stone, people are like, this person's going to install it. You picked one of the most expensive and premier stone people. They're known for a meticulous, fabulous job. Oh, they missed something? Now I got to pay more because they forgot to bid
For
it up?
their incompetence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? You
Why
told
are
me
you
we're
getting
hiring the
taxed on
best.
that?
Why am I
Yeah.
getting taxed on this? And I'm like, who on our end is missing this stuff?
Mhm.
And I'm paying for people not only to do the project, like you have a general contractor who does it, I also pay for people to manage the whole team and the general contractor. It's called the
Yep.
owner's rep to make sure everything goes right. So that way I don't have issues.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who are we paying? Why am I paying so much money for incompetence? And I'm
Let
like,
this
this
be a
is
lesson, guys,
ridiculous.
from Neil. Never build a custom home because it becomes a second job.
Yes. And then you know what they told me? Straight up, well, with all our homes, this kind of stuff is normal and every uh it happens
Imagine if we told
every
our clients
project.
that.
Yes. And I'm going to read you something I wrote to them in an email last night. All right? This is how
It must have been a long email.
it was a long email. I'm
Yep.
just going to read you one part of it though. Um so let's see. Where is it? So look at this. I love all you guys. I try to always end with I try to be nice. And I really do love them because I've gotten to know them for a while now, over a year. I love all you guys, but I would have never built this home if I knew it was going to be this painful. I know construction has a bad reputation of things always costing more and being delayed and constant errors. But just because the industry has a bad reputation, we shouldn't hold ourselves to those poor standards. We should be doing better.
Oh, it was a short email.
No, no, no,
Oh, you had a lot more.
that's
Oh, that's how you
one
started it.
paragraph
Oh, okay.
of the
Oh,
email,
it's a long email. There's like
and this is the second part I'm
that's like, oh
emailing,
my
and
god.
I'm just going,
There's like 12 paragraphs, guys. That's what I'm looking at.
right? And some parts I'm harsh, right? And I didn't end with that statement, right? I love all you guys. And then I even said after that, you guys need to talk and figure things out soon. I don't want to keep getting change orders. Change order is something that
Yeah.
just keeps
Yeah.
costing you more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But I'm getting people charging me more because it's their fault. And then I put in all caps. Please let me know what we are missing and what the right get me a right number right away. I don't want to wait weeks anymore. This is supposed to be done months ago. And then I give examples of this stuff and a dot dot dot. And I'm just like, I'm just over it. And I
So,
have a right to be over it.
what is the point you'd like to give the audience on this?
Sometimes you need to be very direct if you're not very direct, your problems just snowball and it just costs you an arm and a leg, whether it's business or your personal life. You just create a bigger shitstorm,
Yep.
excuse my language, for yourself. And this is why it's very important to be direct. And this is why in business, yes, I do have some finesse,
Hmm.
but we talked about the main key people you work with.
Hmm.
Do you think I have any finesse with the main key people I work with on a daily basis?
Less depending on how close you are. The closer you are, the less you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say out of the 30 people, uh, 15 of them probably soak up 80 to 90% of the time.
Hmm.
With those 15 people, there's no finesse.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I don't want to operate my business with my best people if I have to dance around, right? Like, I'd rather be direct.
And then sometimes they blow up and will be direct with me and pissed off at something I did, and they have a right to be,
Yeah.
and I like it that way.
Yeah. And I apologize. Dude, by the way,
Yes.
like yesterday, we're like debating and arguing things, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that because to me, an argument is just you're making points, right? And sometimes I'll be wrong. And
No,
so,
no, no. Argument is progression.
yeah,
That's how you look at it and
yeah,
I look at it.
yeah. And argument's progression, but when you sugarcoat things, you're actually stopping progression, right? So
Yes.
even if you call me a fruit fly for a good reason, I love it, right? I started laughing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's actually scary. Like, if you imagine you start working for someone as an executive, you call your boss a fruit fly, like,
I like that person.
yeah. But most people think that's like a scary thing, but I love it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So, I think our point of all this goes all the way back to wanting to be liked, and if you want to go far in business, you should care less and less about. Because as I've progressed in my career, I've worked for a couple people, a couple startups, right? You've worked maybe as like a janitor or something
Yeah.
in your teens, right? So you haven't worked for many people, right? But I've seen the progression. The ones that want to be liked, they don't go very far. The CEOs that I've actually feared a little more, they went very far. That's what I would say. Yeah. And so I'm like, now that we kind of see it from the other side as founders, it's like, okay, it might be in the moment, it's like people might fear you a little more, but the ones that go far with you, they're going to respect you long term a lot more because you had the courage to make decisions.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing before we go here.
What's big Mario marketing?
Okay, we'll talk about big Mario marketing. I think you've seen this graphic before. So, okay, check this out. You play Mario, right?
Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, Super Mario. Remember, like, when he eats like the flower and he can throw fireballs?
Yeah.
Remember that? Okay. So, guys, this is a graphic of Mario here. He's eating a fireball, right? Or he's eating the flower that gives him the fireballs. So, big Mario marketing is number one rule of marketing. Nobody cares about your product. They care about themselves. So, this is not what you sell, right? So, you don't sell the flower. This is a potential customer. You sell the outcome, the customer who can do awesome things. So
Yes.
they don't care about your amazing flower. They care if you can do amazing things, right? So this guy literally dropped the best marketing lesson you ever see. So your customer, little marketing, not as powerful, needs help. Your product, an item Mario can use. The result, big Mario shooting fireballs and kicking everyone's ass. And actually, that was my favorite power up. It wasn't even like the cape where he can fly. I just want to throw fireballs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that's big Mario marketing.
I love it.
All right, guys, that is it for today. It's time for us to go to lunch. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.